So we haven't recorded any video for a while. So we want to talk about what we've been working on over the last couple of months, and I guess how that fits in with the overall project and what's coming next. It feels like life has almost become about sailing and learning to sail, and it's really just meant to be a means to an end. But getting to another continent from Australia, it's a big deal. It should be a big deal. Obviously you can just get on a plane and be somewhere else in less than a day without having to learn anything. It's so easy and accessible. It's not something that is kind of fair or can happen forever, and I guess for us it would feel like that's really hypocritical. If that's how we chose to get around, and the whole point of this project is something that we can do with less. But in this case, it really takes a lot more effort and a lot of learning.
I've been lucky in that we haven't had crazy weather with the sailing. I don't think I've sailed in the rain yet, but I have sailed on some very slow days. We'll get this route done in 3 hours, and then 5 hours later we're just like, we're almost finished because it's so still. But it's a nice problem, but it does take a long time.
I guess the problem that we have at the moment is that we're trying to fit an ideal of going slow into a life that still has bookends to it, and still trying to live with our values. So the only sailing we've been doing has been races, and we don't want to be driving there, because that would be a real irony. So we're taking bikes and trains, and we don't live near the marina, so it is a whole day affair for one of us or the other. I think I've been on 7 races now of around 10 to 15 nautical miles, so a few hours each.
I've probably been on about the same.
Similar. And the community is really friendly and engaging, and they want to teach people. It's never been a trouble to get on a boat.
No, and people go out of their way to help us find a boat to get onto, which has been really nice. Makes my heart feel warm inside.
I can't take you, but I think that Bob can. Bob, can you take them? I've got a full crew, but I reckon Sam can. We'll get walked through the marina or wherever until we've been put with someone. If only it was that easy to also get on a boat going over open water.
Maybe it is. We're just not asking in the right place. We just need to be in
Cairns or
Darwin
at the right time of year.
Probably September, when they're like, oh no, I'm sailing to Indonesia on this race and I don't have crew because whatever.
Connecting with other sailors in person has been the easiest bit of connecting with sailors.
We've had to go to the places where the sailors are. It's not an easy online
I'm on
community
about 8 or 10 Facebook pages for finding crew or finding boats, messenger chat groups, and 2 different apps. Some of them are pretty active, and mostly though it's crew who are looking for a boat, which is the same category that we fit into, and it seems quite competitive. There are people who've already sailed around the world or have done long voyages who already have the experience or qualifications, or are young or fit, and women certainly seem to be taken up more readily.
Don't have children.
Well, that's right, a lot of reasons why they might get preference over others, and that's part of why we're trying to build up that experience before putting ourselves out there for the international trip, so that we are actually, in some way at least, attractive as crew. We can be useful. We're not just going to be a burden.
I'm having mixed feelings about it, because next year is really close. After November we're going to run into time that we can't do any sailing because the weather is not good.
Can't cross the ocean.
If it's windy or if it's squally or if it's...
just storms.
Yeah, storm season. I'm feeling like we're running out of time, and
we don't want that pressure. The whole point is like all of these time constraints that we're normally living our lives by, we've opted into.
Yep.
This project doesn't exist in a vacuum, so it's definitely still got some sort of bookends, at least for the starting end.
Probably if there wasn't the time constraint regarding the children being out of school for the time that it matters least when they're out of school.
The year that they're missing school is they're not a senior year or a transition year. That's why we picked next year.
But it's a bit stressful trying to get it all in.
Make it work. But anyway, we're all learning to sail. Emelie and Dani and I joined a boat on Sunday. It was the second time that I've been on that boat, but everyone got to do a little of something. Dani was disappointed that she didn't get to handle any sheets, the lines that control the sails, but she did get behind the wheel when we were motoring back into the marina. She said it was a bit easy, so we'll have to get her out on a dinghy. Adam spent 4 days at a Scouts Learn to Sail camp. I think that he enjoyed the sailing part of it.
I think so too.
Coming in knowing nothing about sailing and knowing no one there, it would have been pretty intimidating. So when we talked about going out on a dinghy again, he's like, me, I'll take the jib sheets.
If it's a 2-person dinghy, I'll go with the instructor.
And it has been, as we said, people are pretty willing and helpful. And someone who we sailed with on the weekend said he really enjoyed sailing with us and has offered to take us for direct instruction on a dinghy if we hire it as well, taking his own time out to do that.
It's really lovely. It's great.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there for long enough and...
We find people, and I think we've also encountered quite a few people who've got at least overlapping values. Sailing community is pretty diverse. There's definitely people who it's quite a competitive or consumerist hobby for them. Bigger boat, better, always got to be upgrading and whatever else. But then there's also a lot of people who are just, actually, I just like the idea of being powered by the wind and taking the time out of an otherwise busy life. Overall, we've been a pretty optimistic bunch of people. We kind of didn't consider the potential of making friends in the sailing community other than, I guess, as relevant for the trip, but it's actually proven to be like better aligned with our project values and our personal ethos than the general community.
Well, I feel like then what we expect.
So that's been cool.
And I got to participate in the lady skipper race. Got to actually steer most of the race.
Nice one.
We came halfway through the pack. It was good.
I guess there's a distinction between there's racing, there's cruising, and there's passage or delivery. That's 3 different ways of getting about on a sailing boat. And we've just been racing at the moment, so the sort of manoeuvres and attitude that people have when they're racing is very different to when they're cruising, because racing is meant to be an active hobby, it's a sport, and so you might be sailing in conditions that you choose not to sail with when you're cruising. And the delivery is kind of halfway in between, but usually that's a professional thing, so it's returning a boat to somewhere else. Although that's probably where we get our best chance after a race up the coast. So the boat owner is stuck with the boat with no crew, and if I take some time off of work, or one of us takes some time off of work over the next few months, we'll probably get a chance to go and join a delivery to return one of those boats back to Brisbane, Gold Coast, or further south.
Oh my goodness, is that turkey?
Yeah.
Trying to eat my hummus.
Yep, had the pigeon peas already. That brings us to some of the other things that we've been up to. So
Hummus? Making hummus.
Yeah, and what's unique about the hummus that you're making? Or
Yes.
what's special about it?
So we have a lot of mung beans. Like, I don't know how many kilograms of mung beans. We like hummus. Hummus is like one of the best plant-based foods in my opinion, because you can just like eat for breakfast and lunch, and it's sour and garlicky and delicious.
I'm sold.
I soak the mung beans so that they're activated to reduce the anti-nutrients, that's right. And then I blend up the mung beans, and then I add salt, garlic and other flavouring things, and then inoculate it with bacteria. Or sometimes they don't inoculate it with the bacteria.
Where do you get it from?
Yogurt.
Okay, living ingredients.
With living ingredients, and it needs to be warm, so I've put it out on the patio over there in the sun today, and the brush turkey found it. I was trying to open the lid.
That takes us to the other thing. We've been trying to grow more food. We've always had a bit of stuff growing, and usually it's the stuff that just grows by itself. We talked about pigeon peas a few times before, and other edible weeds or spinach or perpetual spinach type things. We've tried again to grow tomatoes through winter when the fruit flies don't bother them, but everything wants to eat the tomatoes. Oh my goodness! So.
Oh, I thought it was a bandicoot stealing the tomatoes. Danielle picked one. It was just starting to ripen, and we're like, oh, you should have left it ripen. I think she was right though, because bandicoots, crow. Today I saw a king parrot in there eating tomatoes.
We love the king parrots.
Yeah.
We're happy to share like our pigeon peas with them, because they only ever come as a pair.
Yeah.
When there's like one ripe tomato that has avoided the other rest of the wildlife, we're like, oh.
Oh, look, there's so many hundreds of pigeon peas. Just, can you eat those instead?
Anyway, we either got to grow a whole lot more tomatoes, or somehow it's a thing.
It is.
You can grow stuff, but there's other things you want to eat it. That's for sure. At least we know it's edible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something else that we've done, we both shared our plans for next year with our employers.
Yay!
I thought that my employer would be like, oh no, you can't do that, you're valuable. but it was actually like, oh yeah, like he expected something coming. I feel like I'll be welcome back there. I haven't indicated it as a holiday. I said I'd be finishing up and feel like there's time to consolidate my values or miss what was there before or whatever else and work it out. And I don't want to be caught in one course or the other.
Yeah, I think that's a good option. We've got time to evaluate and for them to decide what their priorities are.
Go for you.
Yeah, I spoke to my principal and he said, have you gotten your paperwork yet? And then he signed it, and so I'm good to go.
Yeah, so for you it's you've got a job there when you return.
Yes, I have a job there when I return.
Do you have a time frame that you have to fit within?
I've applied for 1 year off.
Okay. Do it to extend it? Is there any complications with that?
I am not sure. That's for me to look into.
Okay.
They need at least 6 months notice if I'm going to take that amount of time off.
Yeah, not an easy one to replace.
Yeah. What else have we been doing? Repairing stuff. Last holidays I wanted to repair shoes. I didn't get around to it. So this holidays I have repaired some shoes. I repaired 4 pairs of shoes. Then I was like, yes, 4 pairs of shoes done. I can give them away now. So, because I just really hate throwing things in the bin.
Yeah,
like if I'm like,
just a heel is broken.
This thing could be repaired. I just need some time to do it and some skills. And like the same day I discovered 2 of the pairs of shoes that I regularly wear also need repairing. So it was a little bit of a down.
You repaired your giveaway ones first. And
yeah, my Zumba shoes and my boots. Anyway, more shoes to prepare.
Yes, but we got some out of the house.
We did get some out of the house.
I took them to the local op shop and they were closed to new donations because they're overwhelmed with donations. People buy too much stuff.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, I said, look, they're really nice shoes, and my wife put so much time into repairing them. Please, will you take them?
Did you?
And they did take them, and they are nice shoes, and I'm sure that they will sell. They don't take up a lot of space.
Yeah, they're good.
Don't give
shoes.
junk to op shops.
Don't
if you
buy junk.
Don't buy junk. We did make a short video about meeting neighbours. You know, part of the whole connecting with community really matters. We've only been on the one trip to meet the neighbours. It was quite fruitful, but we have since then had dinner with 2 of those households that we met, 2 of the 3 that we met. Obviously share the same names, so that was kind of fun. We have a party of that name.
Yes.
And they actually got along really well. I think they hadn't really met before, so it's cool to kind of connect people. And it turns out that they know the same people from another country, same community anyway, and overlapping interests. So yeah happy accidents. I think so. In total, we've had dinner over the last couple of months with 5 different households, and I guess it doesn't need to be dinner. It's just like, you know, that's a good time, an opportunity to catch up and meet.
I wouldn't hold it against anyone to forget my name, but I reckon they would recognise us and be like, oh yeah, I want to help you out.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like a big thing for me. Like it's like the teaching, but whenever I teach students, I think, yes, I'm there to teach the curriculum, like the maths or whatever, but what I really want is if that person, when they're older, sees me in need or sees another person in need, they've got like a positive feeling and they're like, yes, I want to help Mrs. Watson or some other person because I've been...
It's almost like a karma thing.
Yeah. Also like, you know...
Not transactional necessarily. It's
more like we can be friendly and respectful, and I think that kind of breeds the feeling of, yes, other people are good too.
More of the same. And trust in individuals kind of breeds trust in humanity, and it would just be nice if you could rock by next door, just have a regular thing together. But people are so busy. Even just seeing the same people we've seen before, like seeing them a second time, it's like we're casting months ahead to find a weekend that is equally compatible. Not just because they're busy, but because we're busy as well.
We're busy. And like this has been a problem of ours for years, I think.
Yeah, part of maybe we can do less. Caught out with kids' sports this year, not realising that they would be all over Brisbane, and both days of the weekend, and also some weeknights. So, yes.
I feel like a lot of parents have this problem.
Yeah,
just like,
I know, the whole week is full of kids' activities.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Life can definitely be full just trying to do the right thing by our families, of course. We don't necessarily want to be as busy as we are. Just, you say yes and a few times and the calendar is full. I guess while we were exploring the neighbourhood, we also checked out a local food bank, which is run by a community organisation. We knew it existed, didn't really know what their terms of operation were. So their stock from Food Bank Queensland. We can't donate food there even if we've got excess and it's in date or whatever else, which is a bit of a pity. They have more food than they can possibly give away. So one of the things has been bread.
So much bread.
It's free, and they get rid of a fraction of it and the rest of it gets thrown out.
It seems crazy because when I've read on Facebook groups, there's always people in need of the bread. It's just getting it to them.
The distribution.
So yeah, it'd be nice to be able to divert it to schools or whatever.
Something.
Where there are children who haven't had breakfast. Like, I know there are breakfast clubs, but
Yeah.
it was a thing that was kind of my radar of
How do
something
we
oh,
make this
another
work?
project.
Yeah, right. No, that's definitely fitting into the more category.
If you need bread, check out your local food bank. They
Yes.
might have bread.
Also, their produce is free, right? All their produce.
Yeah, they've got like 5 different types
Fruit,
of
veg,
produce.
potatoes or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
potatoes, whatever's in season. But yeah, it would absolutely be very helpful for families.
I don't feel like anyone needs to
Struggling.
be hungry in Australia. Like food bank food gets thrown out, and it's already had opportunities to sell or be given away or whatever. So it's just a matter of knowing that it's there, and probably shame around it. And I think that a bit like op shops, if people feel like they can afford buy their groceries, then they won't go to a food bank to do it, and that means that people who can't afford it, so they're going to might be embarrassed or ashamed because of the precedent that's set. But I'd rather set standard that at least some people in the community who afford otherwise still utilise services. Obviously not to the extent that leaves it short of people who can't afford, but just so much waste. It's more on waste. We've been back to the repair cafe a couple of times. It seems that I'm now the knife sharpening guy. Put my hand up for that role. I would rather fix things than just sharpen knives, but also if people be throwing them out anyway, it doesn't take long to sharpen them. So I be focused on getting them perfect, just getting through the tasks, and it's still cool to be with that community. Cool conversations. The people who want to fix things also, there's similar values. So some other community groups as well that we've been hanging out with. I wouldn't say that we're vegan because we're just trying to reduce waste, but we've been meeting cool people with vegan meetups. Again, I guess it's overlap. There's always overlapping values whenever you go. Well, our experience so far to some of these minority groups. I really enjoyed some of those conversations.
Yeah, that'd be really good. And fun.
Yeah, people who we've spoken to there about our project, some of them have been really excited by it and have helped out. So thanks, Georgia, for your input so far. You talked about repairing shoes.
Yep.
I've also made several bike repairs and upgrades. Bikes are our car, effectively. We travel combined on our bikes further than we travel in our car.
I had to drive the other day. It was awful.
when it's something you've had a break from for a while.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm driving to the other side of town in traffic. It wasn't even like car traffic, but by the time I got home, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I remember when I first got a job on the other side of town, and I used to have to drive there because I couldn't take public transport, and I would get home and want to drink alcohol. I'm like, not really a drinker, but like that for me, that is a big source of stress.
Yeah.
I was like, I would much prefer to take my bike, get on the train, sit down. I know it takes longer, but I get to read a book.
Yeah.
Just
it's your
not
time
be responsible.
Still. I repaired a window in the bathroom that cracked, I think because the wall moved.
Repaired some pants for a neighbour's son. Got more clothes to repair.
There's always something to fix if you're into fixing it. Tempted to repair a washing machine that was second-hand to start with, and found out that after waiting for parts for a long time, that wasn't the part that was broken, and the part that was broken cost more than a second-hand washing machine. And while I wouldn't normally let money be the barrier of discarding something, in this case it was a second-hand washing machine already, and I was replacing it with a second-hand washing machine, and it just goes to scrap metal. It's not the worst thing to throw out if you're replacing it with a second-hand one.
You tried.
I did.
You tried
and
pretty
actually,
hard.
I guess the thing that I was most worried about is having to take the car, because the front-loading washing machine is one thing that I've yet to transport on a bicycle.
The thing out of the clothes and the books has been, it's been a sit-down exercise. Kind of like, oh my goodness, what is in this? Like, that's where my sock got to.
Oh, you found some of your things too.
And also like, oh, look at these great books that we have. I forgot about those.
Yeah, you've had them for a while. So
Yep.
Dani is 9 at the moment, and she's come to understand the value of being organised. I think she has the legacy of the rest of her life, where her idea of organised has been, open the door, throw it in. I'm not going to point any fingers at anyone because I'm the same. Like in the workshop, I do a thing, and I feel like I might use that thing again, that tool or part or whatever again soon. I'm just going to put it down, or I'll take stuff from there, do like the repair on the window or whatever, and then it's getting dark. The next thing that needs to happen, and I've got a bundle of stuff. I just put it in a box and I go and I put it in the shed. So yeah, good to thin it out and get back to. You want to love everything that you have. It's good to be materialistic, and that doesn't mean to acquire a lot of stuff. It means to really value the stuff that you have. Like if you're going to have a thing, then make it a good one, as within reason, and look after it.
Yeah,
and love it, right? And if you don't love a thing, question why you've got it. It's your life. Every little thing that you own occupies some physical space, some mental space, some emotional space, and at some point you're going to have to deal with any one or combination of those things. So it might be hard sometimes to let go of stuff, but once it's gone and the grieving is done.
Yeah, I did that. I thinned out a whole lot of clothes earlier this year, and then my friend had a cocktail party. All right,
This is meant to be a good story.
I'll just go out and get that cocktail dress out. And I was like, oh, I've got 2 that I might wear. I went to collect them and I had given them both already. I was like, oh, what? But luckily I had 2 other beautiful dresses, and they were both good. So there was a bit of
This wasn't the first one.
But also a
I think that while we've mentioned minimalism a few times, and I did the minimalism review, and some things are tagged with minimalism. We're not minimalists.
I am not a minimalist.
I feel like trying to minimize your possessions will often mean you waste more, because if it's something that you would use again and you get rid of it because you want to have the least stuff, and then you need it again, you go and buy it again. I'm kind of an advocate for as much sharing as feasible, but it also requires the right community to do that with.
Yeah, I think that's something.
We've been part of what I said we were going to do with this project was capture people's stories, people who have maybe had a bit of an epiphany or lived a different life that fits closer to these values, and we found a few people like that, not actually deliberately looking for them, recognizing also the experiences of people we already know, and how these might fit.
Yeah, it's been nice how many people say, yes, I'm willing to get on camera and share with you.
Yeah.
I didn't really...
Well, even just how many people have been like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling.
But editing is a process, and...
So if you are an editor, hit us up.
And not trying to cram too much in. Yeah, we interviewed he said former monk, monk is definitely still part of his life, and a colleague who really made it to success in kind of the conventional way, and then realised that's not really what he wanted, and maybe that his very conservative parents from India had a lot of good points to make. What else? Cooking.
The making of plant-based food to be appealing to me is still an ongoing emotional struggle. Some things I can make them taste better, but sometimes I'm just like, the texture, and the kids are just, they don't love it.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest struggle. You want to make food that people want to eat, and I think that the kids still have a fair bit of choice about what they want to eat. We're not forcing this diet on them, but how do we compromise here? We do our best that they adopt our values, I guess, because everyone kind of feels like their values are right, but also give them scope, make their own decisions in some regard, do their own research, whatever.
Yeah. Well, what it means for Danielle is that whenever Adam cooks, it is the best thing ever.
I've spent a lot of time reading. Blog content is mostly material that I've read. A lot of that's trying to understand my own experiences in the world and make sense of how we got to where we are. So the blog series at the moment is on instincts, 5 instincts that leading us astray or don't serve us quite as well as they did in their original evolutionary purpose, and another 5 instincts kind of atrophied a little bit. They've slipped away, and some of that I feel like is I wouldn't say deliberate, but it's a product of choice that we've made politically or else. So a lot of reading on that.
I would highly recommend reading Frugal Hedonist. I'm reading the book now, and everything it says I either do or I'm like
you're already doing.
I'm already doing it, or I'm like, yes, this gives me permission to do the thing that I really want to do. Like enjoying the tactile, because that's a thing that I really have in the past enjoyed, but then it's kind of a bit weird for adults to be like, well, you feel very nice today.
But this is a consistent thing with reading, like the stuff which you feel compelled to do is instinctive, or like it's an evolutionary thing.
I mean, enjoying touching things and smelling things the way I used to when I was a lot younger. And I've been thinking like in my mind about having an avocado party, like where people just bring things to eat that are based or like adjacent to avocado. And I hadn't really mentioned it to anybody except for one other person. And then in the book they had like a banana party. I'm like, oh, other people have done this before. I can do it again. And then
history of like that food is seasonal now. There is more of it than we can possibly use. So we need to like find all the ways to use it.
Yeah.
Reduce waste. It has been tricky. I think we talked about this before, trying to fit all of the stuff in. And it feels a bit hypocritical.
It does. Sometimes it's just like, man, I just got to like get through work and then like looking after the children and just doing the things that I'm already working on. And to do this project work is just, I don't know how people work full time. Yeah,
that's right. So we should emphasise that you work about 80%.
I work
plus your school holidays.
Yeah, I work 4 days a week as a teacher, so I get 12 weeks a year of holidays. They're not all like holidays. I do have to work on some of the holidays.
I'm casual, I guess. I work a bit more than half of the normal full working week, but even still, with trying to do the project stuff and the community work with the community, life is pretty full still, and we're quite aware of how hypocritical that is when we're saying with less busy.
Yeah, I'm like, is this a stepping stone or is this just more of busy and it will be? I don't know.
Yeah,
but I feel like the more we learn, the more things I kind of wanted. So
yeah,
it's a hard one to go, no, Emelie, don't do that. Even exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting, or it might reduce waste, or it could help people. Like there's so many ways that we could be doing better or doing more or whatever.
Yeah.
And what's next?
Other than that, I'm trying to get some more overnight sailing experience.
Yeah, so no one's really going to say, hey, jump on our boat to Indonesia if we haven't first spent one overnight.
A media release?
I gave 2 or 3 media organisations media releases, like in a traditional sense, in March or April about a project, and didn't even get an acknowledgement that they existed. It's quite different to the response with the Brisbane to Broome project in 2008, where it seemed people were really eager for our story and whatever else, but I guess the world's full of influencers now, and who knows how legitimate any of it is.
Yeah.
And maybe it just got filtered by AI and never went anywhere. So.
And also, like, it's so far away.
Yeah, that's
if
right.
if we're going overseas, maybe if we had a lot of influence, then they'd.
Yeah, if we already had the followers, then they'd jump on.
Yeah.
Anyway, who cares? We don't want to be too cynical about it, but I think that it's worthwhile putting it out there every few months. Say, hey, here's our story, here's how it's evolved. The right person will pick it up at some point. You'll see us on national TV, if that's still a thing. Is that still a thing? I don't actually have TV, so...
Yeah, TV still exists.
Thanks. It's been good chatting. Thanks. It's been good chatting.
Yeah.